So,
welcome back to Progressive Soup.
Welcome back, yeah. So we're going down the names of people that appeared on the show last year, and we missed Miles Ganfried, John Allen, both Bernie Sanders supporters. They came on and talked a little about Bernie Sanders' campaign, but more importantly about the issues that are important to all Americans and how that fit into Bernie Sanders' background and his proposals and his beliefs. And what drives all of us is volunteering our time for helping out with the campaign, which should begin coming to fruition at the beginning of February with the Iowa caucuses and then New Hampshire primary, and we'll see how that goes, and we'll take it from there. But so you were talking about some of the books, a couple of books that
That's right.
read.
Stumbling on Happiness by Daniel Gilbert, and Roberto, our producer, told me to show it to camera 3.
And parents, never give your kid 2 first names for a name. Never do that. Very bad form.
And then the next
people wonder whether you're Daniel Gilbert or Gilbert Daniel. I guess.
That's another thing you said, parents don't sacrifice anything for your kids, because in the end they're going to be mad at you anyway for messing up their life.
You know, you do what's right by them, and you be parents rather than trying to be friends, and because kids will tell you, if they're honest, they'll tell you that we don't need any more friends. Thanks, we got friends. We need parents to tell us what to do, and very gradually over the course of our development give us a little bit more latitude and a little bit more freedom each year.
And just be happy now. Don't sacrifice your happiness today
don't plan on college,
because tomorrow is uncertain.
Don't plan on college yet. I'm still in my playpen trying to figure out this how this Tickle Me Elmo doll works.
And then we have another book, The Biology of Belief by Bruce H. Lipton. He's a PhD biologist.
Yeah.
And he talks about, it just came out with the 10th anniversary edition, and he's talking how we can change our DNA and our genes are not a life sentence. So if my grandmother had diabetes, it does not necessarily mean I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
If my grandmother had Alzheimer's, it doesn't necessarily believe.
You mentioned something about 2%. Does that mean it's sort of like maybe like a 2% more chance that you would get something because you have a genetic disposition toward it?
Right. Like I think there's 2% of the population has diseases that are caused by genetic mutations, like cystic fibrosis. Like they can actually link things you know you're going to get at some point in your life, or maybe even Down syndrome. That's based on a chromosome.
Okay. So there's a possibility of something like that, certainly. But like you say, you still have to live your life as if what you do and how you take care of yourself. Leading back into the other book about how you conduct yourself and how you present yourself and represent yourself to people around you, that's what really matters. You have a huge amount of control over your own life. Yeah, how are the cells, which were made up of trillions of cells that reproduce every day, and how they're saying with Dr. Bruce Lipton, it's this new science. He's a proponent of this new science called epigenetics, which means controlling the cell. And he's saying that the cell, according to Darwinism and geneticists in the past, had believed that the cell was controlled from things going on inside the cell. But now he's saying it's not inside the cell that controls our genes or our lives, it's what's happening outside the cell, the environment of the cell. And if we know we can control the environment of the cell by what's going on outside, it could be like our beliefs and our so by changing our beliefs, we could change our biology. So unleashing the power of consciousness, matter, and miracles. So it's all about the mind, body, spirit, emotion, connection, which I've always believed in, being a massage therapist. Now doctors and scientists are beginning to acknowledge this, connection between the mind, the body, the spirit. That segues in a little bit with yoga and other disciplines where you look inward and control in small doses, control things that go on in your life instead of counting on somebody else to make decisions for you. You make decisions for yourself, and take that sense of responsibility for your own actions and your own health. And
yes, exactly.
Seems, yeah.
So I think it's been way empowering, and I've been kind of on this journey myself, and I've been working out with a guest we had on our show, Stavros Masterjanis, who runs
Shout out to Stavros
in Danbury.
Yeah.
And in addition to working out with him and following this program, it's something I do called the One Command. It's his process about changing your beliefs and your DNA. And in addition to doing all these things together, it's helped me on my path and transformation. So I was hoping that for the new year, I find this process very empowering.
Okay.
And which is, because there's different, you've heard of the law of attraction, right? Which says that we're at...
yeah. I heard that opposites attract.
Okay, so anyway, what it's saying is that you have Abraham Hicks and Esther Hicks, and anyway, there's the secret. So what she's saying is that if you're at a certain vibration, you're going to attract things of that same vibration into your life. And
define vibration. I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Well, vibration is the energy that we give off. If you get a certain vibe from somebody.
Yeah.
If you're near someone, you get a good vibe, a bad vibe. We always say, "Oh, I got a weird vibe," or "From that place is weird." I got a weird. But if you have a good vibration, that means that person energetically, Yeah, it's really just how our molecules and at a subatomic particle level, we give off a vibration. And that's why you
that probably links in with maybe like pheromones that which are molecules that come off one person and up the nostrils of another person, and you kind of make decisions on that person from those pheromones.
Yeah, and it's really all how about you feel with somebody, right?
Yeah.
I mean, feelings are really important.
Yeah.
Some people are vampires. That might be where Dracula came from. You have some people that are emotional, like vampires. They suck all your energy, and some people give you energy, and some people take away your energy. It's true,
Some people are energizing, and some people are. Help me, audience. Enervating, is enervating the word I'm looking for?
Sure.
Sap the energy out of you.
So anyway, I learned this process, and instead of the law of attraction, which says that we have these limiting beliefs, and that we have these limiting beliefs that lower our vibration, and that because of these limiting beliefs that we've acquired between the ages of 0 and 6 from our parents or society, when we're in the theta brainwave state, because they've proven that between the ages of 0 and 6, when we're in a certain brainwave state, theta. As because there's beta, theta, alpha, theta, delta. Okay, so when we're in this brainwave state, we're much more susceptible.
Is this college fraternity time we're getting onto?
So you're more susceptible, and we acquire our beliefs, and then we become adults. And we're saying our beliefs affect our lives, right? So I'm going to teach you a process that. Okay, so people, the law of attraction, where they say, "Oh, well, you're going to attract in your life." What is it? The same level as you, and then so there's all these processes out there that are they're like clear limiting beliefs, and I think that I have found that
how you doing?
If you don't know what these limiting beliefs are, a lot of people beat themselves up and say.
Our good friend John Wolfert just stepped in.
Hi.
And I'm going to ask him real quick, not to put him on the spot, but would you mind joining us and talk a little bit about, because you were involved in solar panel installation. And slide on in, slide on over, because you're going to need our microphones. Our microphones. You'll be heard on our microphones.
Oh wait,
so
maybe we have extra microphones, maybe or not.
Well, we do, but we'd have to go and plug it in and everything else. So we're talking about energy and people gravitating toward one another, and a couple of books that Emily's been reading. And
Emily, gravitate to your left.
Gravitate to my left. To the left. Okay. I have to make sure I don't put the chair on the wires.
We were counting on you showing up. We had the soup all out for you.
Okay, so anyway, I believe in the law of creation, which is more empowering, and I was going to take you through a process to help you make change for 2016. But it's whatever. Yeah.
What
do you want to create in the new year?
Let's do that on one of our upcoming shows in 2016.
Oh, good. Okay.
We'll have a lot more to talk about with that.
Right.
But we have with us John Wolfert, who a good friend of ours, who's helped out with the show, has been on the show before. And John has been involved in installing solar panels. I think you've taken a respite from that to, is it your electrician's license you've been getting?
Yeah, well, it's the classroom hours for the apprenticeship. So
okay.
At the very beginning, learning this trade. But actually the solar is like a whole different ballpark for the electricians.
So you don't. So solar installation is not a standard electrician work.
No, normally it's when most electricians hear about DC power, they get a little freaked out because
DC direct current, as opposed to the comic books with Superman and Batman.
Well, AC is just about in every outlet, in every house.
Okay, alternating current, yeah.
Alternating current.
So why do people freak out?
It's known as to be a little bit more dangerous.
Oh.
From my studies, it seems a little different. I haven't really experienced a shock from either or. So I don't know.
Well, that's good.
But I heard
always good to not have firsthand experience of these kinds of things.
I prefer to work with the power off.
Oh, okay. Well, we could do that. Sure.
Safety procedure.
Right, of course.
I think if you crank up Emily's microphone, it'll probably pick up all three of us fairly well.
Okay.
Well, he's a producer. If you think you could do it quickly, we could.
Keep talking.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were involved in installation of solar panels, and from what I've gathered, it's been a very busy last couple of years in our area for installation of panels. Our producer, our director Roberto, has had panels installed in his house now, and he learned a lot about the process that involved having to get the city what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word, Roberto?
Reimbursement.
They had to do inspections each step along the way.
There's a permit process.
Oh, the permit process. Yeah. So it's like anything else when you change something of important nature in your house. You have a permit process that's
structural.
Yep.
Inspections
along the way to make sure it's done properly, which is always good.
Tree lines.
Tree lines. Yeah. So you want to dwell a little bit on the notion of the tree lines and what makes a home more suitable or less suitable for solar?
Well, each roof has to. If it's going on the roof of a house, and they don't always go on a roof.
Right.
Oh.
But if it's going on the roof, it has to be structurally sound.
Okay.
So they do have tests for that, which I wasn't really involved in.
Where else can they put solar panels?
They have ground mounts. It's pretty much like the same thing. Like if you went to a stadium where the bleachers and stuff, you see those poles in the ground.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like the same principle as that, and then they just put the panels on. I have seen those motorized ones in places, but I haven't had any experience with those. Is the motorized ones that actually turn with the sun, like phototroping.
Oh, okay. So it uses a small amount of the energy that it's taking in to rotate to follow the path of the sun.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Huh.
It's someone's phone. So I mean.
So good. Yeah.
I mean, there's situations. Usually, like older houses have better wood in them. I didn't know this before, but the stronger wood.
Yeah, the wood compresses. The wood compresses over decades, particularly. And I learned from my house on Highland Avenue in Bethel that we bought from Meg Ryan's dad. Long story short, it was only about a 40-year-old cape. But I went to make a change inside to take out a little wall to put a baluster going up the stairs in. And it turns out I had to get a Sawzall to cut through a 2x4 because it was just so hard. It was like iron. It was like trying to cut through iron. But yeah.
Well, they don't make houses like they used to.
Well, that goes without saying,
right.
because the wood, all the things in them compress
Right.
And they do get stronger, and after a certain period of time, they become a lot more resistant to termites or any other carpenter ants or anything of that nature. So go on about the installation.
I understand there was a better quality too back
Possibly, yeah, very possibly.
I think so, yeah.
Well, a lot of things always look better in the old days, so I don't know if I'm sold on that notion. The quality is quality, whether it's yesterday or 1,000 years ago. But go on with the installation.
Well, I mean, the installation process from the start. Well, the first thing you would have to do is go get up there and make sure that you're not going to fall. That the roof isn't faulty and that there aren't holes in it, because you don't want to be held liable for something that was already there.
Right.
Someone mentioned to me that, and I'll have to ask you about this, that a brand new roof is maybe not the best to go with on installation of something, because in the first year or so of the life of the roof, if there were problems with the installation of it, that's when they're going to show up. So if a roof is not quite brand new, but certainly not extremely old, that time frame is best to go with for installing panels on them.
I haven't heard that.
I don't know. It's
I would say that
probably
the newer
more
ones were easier to get up and walk on.
Oh, okay.
The roofs?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Because the shingles are new, mostly. You get up on the old shingles and it's just like walking up a sand dune. It's like.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Wow.
So now you've got the panels installed.
Right.
Where does the energy, the sunlight that's captured in the panels, how is that distributed? Where do you go from there? Where does it go?
Well, I mean, the panels are made pretty easily, and they plug together.
Yeah.
You can only plug about 10, maybe 8 or 10 together, because you can only handle so much power. When you do that, the wires, the gauge, and then what we call those is one string, and normally, you have if it was like 20 panels, you could have 2 strings. Sometimes there's 4 or 5, and then they all go. They get put, off the roof. They go on. They get. We usually zip tie them, or get them. I have clips to put them in place, so they don't. So they're off the roof, and then they go into a box and then they get pulled down to an inverter. What the inverter does, and from what I understand, it may be like a transformer inside there. It was never really explained to me, but it turns the DC to AC current.
Oh, okay. Again, back to the AC and DC. So it gets converted, and where does is it stored in a battery? Where does it go from there?
Usually, it goes right into the panel.
Oh, okay. So it's directly
right into the feed. The feed coming from the street to the house.
Okay.
That's what I saw most commonly. But there are those that want batteries to store it. Yeah. And which you would go right past the inverter, because you don't need the AC, because all batteries are DC. Yeah. And it could be stored that way. And I believe that I didn't really have time to investigate this, but at the one house that I did it at, I believe that it goes from the battery to the inverter too, and then to the panel.
Okay, so it's channeled directly into the panel and gets used in the house for the things that the house is running on, the things that the appliances and whatnot that the house is running off of that energy. Right. And I've heard that if you're producing more energy at a given moment than your house is using at a given moment, it could either be stored in a battery, or it could be sent back to the power company.
Yeah, there are different meters that actually clock that.
Okay, so you're actually supplying power back to the utility company, who's turning around and taking that energy, that electricity, and sending it out through the rest of the system to people that don't have solar power at all.
What made you decide to do solar panels and study, electrician. Like, are they related at all? Like you said,
they're
okay.
related, yeah. And there are electricians in every just about every solar outfit that I know of. Unless, it's possible that some contract them, but that wouldn't make sense because they're needed on every single job to set the panels. They wouldn't let somebody without a license do that.
That's
so. Yeah.
Well, that's all pretty exciting stuff. That and we're seeing solar panels just show up on roofs all over the area, both commercial and residential roofs.
I compare it to the early days, like the early '90s computer age, where they're just pushing them.
Interesting comparison,
pushing them, and the technology is going to get better because everybody's going to have them, and the people that are making money producing these things are going to come up with better ideas. So it's but it's all what happens. Most solar companies have somebody look at your electric bill, and they figure out how much you're using.
Yep.
So then they determine how many solar panels you would need to break even on your bill.
Okay, and beyond that, gravy. The things that the producing more than you actually need, where it goes back through the wire to the supplier.
In Connecticut, you make money, but it's not really. It's like pennies on a dollar.
Oh, okay.
If you would pay $1 for it,
so they're buying it back at a lower rate.
They pay you like 50 cents or 25 cents. Or something.
So they're buying it back. They're buying the electricity that you would supply back to them at a lower rate. Turn around and probably make a profit off of that. So it benefits them in that sense, and while it's benefiting the homeowner.
And I've actually heard of I forget. I thought I heard that the power company was getting involved in actually installing them too. But
they've actually been problematic. I know in Bethel that we're trying to do panels, an array of panels at what used to be the landfill site, Bethel, which is now a transfer station, where garbage is taken to, recycled, separated, and then it's carted off to wherever it's taken to. But they've been trying for a long period of time to put up solar panels in order to help provide power for the town and also funnel some power back to the electric company. And the one standing in the way of them doing that, the process, is the electric company. They're actually trying to dissuade. They're trying to come up with reasons why it shouldn't be done. And I think maybe it's maybe not in their best interest in the long run. If
it may be something, a deal that they have with the nuclear power plant. Or some
possibility, but that's not forever. Yeah, the nuclear plant.
Maybe violating some kind of contract they have with them.
Yeah,
I don't believe. I believe it's more of a win-win situation for the power company that buys and sells the electricity.
Sure, but, especially if they're buying it back at a lower rate and turning around and selling it elsewhere for a higher rate.
Where is there a nuclear power plant?
Waterford.
Yeah, there's there's
wow.
Yankee.
That's way out.
Yankee Mac, I think it's called.
Way out there.
But it's been there for 30, 40 years. And at some point, power plants are not forever. The nuclear power plants are not forever. Eventually they have to decommission them like any other.
They're more efficient than gas or coal, but but still, that's pollution. That's takes eons. I don't even know how long.
Long term, tens of thousands of years for the waste material from nuclear power plants to not be toxic.
Yeah.
And nobody wants it either. Nobody wants to have a dump site for nuclear waste rods in their state. That's a great, not in my backyard.
Well, we all saw in The Simpsons with the three-eyed fish, right? With Homer working at the nuclear.
Always, it all comes back to Homer Simpson and the three-eyed fish.
What's what happened in Japan? There was like an earthquake, like in 2010.
Oh yeah,
and everyone was all worried because it was a nuclear power
they had
plant.
they had a
spill,
tsunami, and
yeah.
And unfortunately, when the tsunami struck,
Right.
the nuclear power plant that had damaged severely.
Yeah.
The power plant, if it had gravity-fed cooling, a cooling system that it was gravity-fed to keep the rods cool, there wouldn't have been a problem. But unfortunately, it was run on electric.
Yeah.
And when the electric went out on the cooling system, the plant overheated, and they've got a cleanup that's going to take a long time.
Yeah, it was like 2011, 2012.
Still finding radiation in the ocean.
Yeah, within the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah, it's just so apparently General Electric, no slight on them for what they do, but they had the system in place that was electric run rather than gravity fed. Gravity fed, it would automatically cooled it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's great. Yeah, I'm glad to know they're making advances in energy and
we know our good friend Richard Frascone, whom we jokingly refer to as Salty Mouth because his language gets a little salty at times. He's done some great shows. Who's Telling the Truth, by the way? Great show on Comcast and on the internet. He's done a lot of shows about the batteries being. They're putting together the Tesla's putting together a battery plant in Reno, Nevada.
Right.
And
did you know that's where they mine the lithium?
No.
Is it really? Oh, that's good. So that's
good to know.
Right to production fairly quickly. Then that's good. Smart move.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for. I've learned a lot. Thanks for being on our show.
Thanks. It was just kind of a surprise.
And we'll have you back. So we're just going to keep on.
I was just going to come in and grab a camera. And
We're just going to keep on talking as we fade up.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's great.
John Wolfert, our guest, Emily Volpintesta, David Stevenson, and we'll just keep on. Keep on chatting here. So you did the installation, and now you've gone on to the.
Yeah.